Hillary Clinton becoming the latest Democrat to discover that you go broke when you go woke. Clinton making the case that Democrats' focus on activist causes could cost them dearly in November. Quote, look, the most important thing is to win the next election. The alternative is so frightening that whatever does not help you win should not be a priority. And CNN's Van Jones thinks Democrats are completely out of touch with voters.
If you pull out the working class, you've got people who are very well educated and very well off. Those people talk funny. Latinx, I've never met a Latinx. I've never met a BIPOC. I've never met, all this weird stuff that these highly educated people say. It's bizarre. Nobody talks that way at the barbershop, the nail salon, the grocery store, the community center. But that's how we talk now. So that's weird.
You know, what's interesting is that, I mean, he says everything that makes sense. I saw you nodding your head, Greg. I mean, is he the kind of guy that can convince the Democrats that they have to really reverse course? Can they do it in time?
Like if any of us said that, we'd be called a bigot or something like that. But I love that moment because it felt like he wasn't talking to the CNN hosts.
Right.
He was describing them to their face. You notice the cricket eater just went totally silent. You could actually hear the crickets in her stomach. But it was wonderful. Meanwhile, Hillary is right, but only because she sees it as a political error, not a greater error that creates human suffering. Like if you actually had your ear to the ground or saw what we were seeing with crime and how wokeism has displaced so many major concerns, she would have acted sooner, but because she only sees things through a political lens, it's only, we better do something because we could lose. That bothers me because you should care whether you win or lose.
Don't you agree with Greg, Harold? I mean, when she says whatever does not help you win should not be a priority, and now she's saying that defunding the police is only hurting Democrats. Why didn't she say that two years ago, a year and a half ago?
I think if you look back, I think she did say some of those things. But I don't necessarily disagree with Greg. I think but politicians are motivated by politics. So whatever their motivation, as long as they want to do the right thing, the only thing Democrats should be focused on is twofold: the economic challenges facing people around their kitchen tables, and the concerns that people have about their safety and security, which is crime and border security. If you focus on those things and stop trying to come up with new names and new titles for things that, frankly, I don't quite understand, if we do that, we not only have a better chance of winning, we will actually respond to the needs of people, and our politics will get better and more whole if we do that.
Jesse, isn't that what a candidate who's a Trojan horse does? Like, look at it this way: that whatever doesn't help you, it should not be a priority. In other words, say what they want you to say, and then when you get in, get rid of the Trojan horse, and you can deal with all the extras.
Well, that was in the WikiLeaks with Crooked. She had a public position and a private position on the same issue. What's a BIPOC or a BIBOC?
I don't know.
What is that?
I know Tupac. I've never heard of it.
Yeah, BIPOC.
I've never even heard of that. And what is Latinx? What does the X stand for? Why isn't it Latino or Hispanic? What does Latinx mean? Do you know?
Don't look at me.
Okay. Someone has to know what that means. No one says that.
I'm avoiding your questions to the clouds right now. I'm thinking about notes for the next segment, just to be safe.
Yep. There's nothing to be safe about. I said the same thing on Primetime last week. No one says this.
Okay. All right, Dana, you want to wrap it up?
Sure. I'll make 2 points. One is that the left is eating itself alive, and people like Van Jones and Hillary are trying to tell them that. But one of the funniest anecdotes about Latinx is that last week there's a Democrat of New York, Richie Torres, a congressman, and he said nobody actually uses the phrase. But then people pointed out that his Twitter account had it several times. And that's why your young staff should not do your Twitter account. But also, how is it that Hillary Clinton is on a media tour and no one has asked her about being the person who gave the go-ahead for Russia hoax? Come on, media, let's get the program.
Oh, but they got over it. I mean, they're past that.
Hi, everyone. I'm Brian Kilmeade. I want you to do me a favor. I want you to click to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page. This is the only way that I know for sure that you're not going to miss any great commentary, any great news bites, any great interviews coming your way on Fox. You can get it all here on YouTube. So subscribe right now.